Everyone is familiar with the fact that tennis is nowadays one of the most popular sports for gambling. However, not many people are familiar with the suspicious practice plaguing tennis tournaments around the world, which is comparable to insider trading, known as courtsiding. Meet Bram. Bram is a courtsider. What is a courtsider? Courtsiders are people who continuously collect, transmit, publish or release match scores and statistical data from the grounds of the tournament during play. Bram is employed to transmit score data and other information instantly to worldwide syndicates and betting companies who are linked to in-play gambling. Bram relays data 30 to 35 weeks a year, 3 days a week, 3 or 4 matches a day, but Bram is not a tennis fan. In his job, tennis is ideal for live scoring, because tournaments typically stage many matches simultaneously, and if one is lopsided and not driving betting, Bram can shift to a different match. Courtsiding has been prevalent for more than a decade, but has been banned since 2007 after professional tennis experienced a high-profile match which had been the subject of irregular betting and alleged corruption came to public attention. In September 2008, as a result of this and other incidents, the international organizations that oversee professional tennis jointly formed the Tennis Integrity Unit and a uniform code of conduct called the Tennis Anti-Corruption Program. From this, the TIU enhanced the protection of data rights linked to live scoring, in response to the ever-increasing presence of professional gamblers and syndicates transmitting live scores from tournaments around the world. The ATP and WTA invested in resources to fight back against data dissemination by unapproved third parties. However, due to inconsistencies in local laws, the responsibility for controlling courtsiders remains the responsibility of the individual tournaments, which includes the enforcement of the regulations. One of the first measures introduced by the ATP and WTA after setting the TIU was the implementation of a DCL unit. This was designed exclusively to find courtsiders and, in conjunction with local security and tournament organizers, eject them from the venue, thus maintaining the integrity of tennis by protecting against unauthorized third-party data collection. The purpose of Bram being at tournaments is to send back information faster than TV and the betting companies. This means his syndicate can obtain the data and thus manipulate the odds on betting exchanges. The analogy is high-frequency trading on the stock exchange, facilitated by tailored computer programs, giving a microsecond advantage, which can then translate into profit. Unfortunately, this turns out not to be so simple for Bram. Courtsiding is against the ticketing and credential rules of ATP and WTA events. These policies are also printed on the back of tickets and passes for credentialed people, which prohibit the transmission of real-time information. Courtsiding could violate house rules at the tournament, but at present, the practice is not illegal. Bram is most commonly escorted from the premises and handed a cease and desist letter telling him not to return. The resulting cat and mouse game has moved some courtsiders to don disguises in an effort to avoid detection. By the courts, Bram seats behind one of the players for optimal viewing, and after each point ends, the chair umpires enter the outcome into a tablet, which transmits the scores to fans and gamblers around the world. Chair umpires are instructed to enter the data as quickly as possible, but factors such as player challenges, checking marks on clay courts, can cause a delay. The potential for delays means that someone who can obtain scoring data faster has an advantage. That's why courtsiders are courtside. The second a ball lands out or bounces twice, Bram can click a button on his phone and transmit the score directly into his employer's server, which is used to place bets. The servers, in turn, contain software that models the outcome of the match. This model incorporates the latest point outcomes, spits out the probability of each player winning, and then, based on its calculated probability, places bets it considers favorable. That's basic courtsiding. A more advanced courtsider will get to know the players and their tendencies, and sometimes make calculated risks to gain a betting edge. Suppose a player on the run throws up a lob. If his opponent's body language suggests the ball going out, the courtsider can record the point as over before it's officially ended, or he might call a shot out before the line judge, trusting his own eyesight and judgment. This betting happens on exchanges, why gamblers pit themselves against one another, which constantly offer changing odds on a player winning or losing as a match progresses. Most courtsiders fit a usual profile. Young European males, almost always alone, intently watching the action, but not behaving like other fans, not cheering or clapping or interacting with other spectators, and rarely eating or drinking. Bram typically has local phones, testing different providers for the best coverage and speed. He rigs electronic devices with buttons that are easy to press without looking, by reaching into his pockets or even pressing them from the outside. As courtsiding in tennis became more popular, concerns spread. In January 2014, a British man was arrested for transmitting real-time data during a tennis tournament in Australia. Well, there is. We have and continue to work hard in order to preserve the integrity of our sports in-play data collection and distribution. The achievement of this program has resulted in the removal of courtsiders to date.